Hi, it's Mr. Anderson, and in today's podcast, we're going to be talking about the wonders that are cellular respiration and photosynthesis. A little fun fact for you: cellular respiration and photosynthesis, though they're opposites, they actually fuel each other. Now back to the facts. So let's look at this picture of a group of girls running in a bed of flowers. As this group is running, they're breathing oxygen, and the cells inside of them are respiring. As these cells respire, they release carbon dioxide, or CO2, into the environment. As this group is running, the plants around them are all performing photosynthesis, and as a result, are releasing oxygen. Now, the group needs the oxygen from the plants to keep running, let alone living, and the plants need the carbon dioxide from the group to keep photosynthesizing. And this is basically the chemical equilibrium that is generated by photosynthesis and cellular respiration. But now let's get into detail. First, we'll start with cellular respiration. Cellular respiration takes place in the mitochondria of cells. Cellular respiration is the means by which cells extract stored energy in food and transfer it to molecules of ATP. We all know what ATP is, and if you don't, then get out of my class. Yes, you, Mr. Austin Rones. The equation for cellular respiration is below, and let's talk about that. First, we have glucose, C6H12O6, which combines with oxygen, O2, and forms carbon dioxide, CO2, water, H2O, and ATP as energy. Next, there are 3 steps to cellular respiration: glycolysis, the Krebs cycle, and the electron transport chain. Glycolysis is a simple 10-step process that breaks down 1 molecule of glucose into 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. During this process, a net gain of 2 ATP is made. Glycolysis occurs in the cytosol of the cytoplasm of the cell, or the cytoplasm. The next step of cellular respiration is the Krebs cycle. In the Krebs cycle, the pyruvate from glycolysis is sent to the mitochondrial matrix and enters the Krebs cycle. In this intense cycle, the products are the electron carriers, NADH and FADH2, ATP energy, and carbon dioxide, which we exhale. A net gain of 2 ATP is made from the Krebs cycle. The electron carriers that are made are used for, you guessed it, carrying electrons to the final step of cellular respiration, which is the electron transport chain. The electron transport chain, or the ETC, is found in the inner membrane of the mitochondria and produces the most ATP. In the electron transport chain, a buildup of H+ ions occurs when the electron carriers NADH and FADH2 deposit their electrons, and this buildup causes a concentration gradient. This concentration gradient powers the enzyme ATP synthase, which propels H+ ions against the gradient and produces a great amount of ATP while doing so. And this basically sums up cellular respiration besides fermentation, which we'll get to in another lesson. Next up is the phenomenon of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis takes place in the chloroplasts of cells. Photosynthesis is the process by which light energy is converted to chemical bond energy and carbon is fixed into inorganic compounds. The general formula for photosynthesis is below. Photosynthesis requires carbon dioxide, which is released by respiration, CO2, water, or H2O, and light energy from the sun. The products of photosynthesis are glucose, C6H12O6, water, again, which is H2O, and oxygen, or O2. In contrast to cellular respiration, photosynthesis only has 2 steps: the light reactions and the dark reactions. In the light reactions, light is absorbed by the photosystems 1 and 2, which are found in the thylakoid membrane, and flows through the electron transport chains. Now, and don't be scared of the word photosystem. It's simply a light harvesting complex that contains hundreds of antennae and chlorophyll A. In the route of travel, photosystem 2 comes first and produces ATP, then photosystem 1 occurs and produces NADPH. The products of the photosystems, ATP and NADPH, are then sent to the dark reactions. The dark reactions are called dark because they don't actually need light, even though they need the products of the light reaction, which of course require light. The dark reaction is also known as the Calvin cycle. And the Calvin cycle is a cyclic process that produces the carbon sugar pGal, which eventually forms our beloved glucose. Carbon enters the stomata of leaves in the form of CO2, which was one of the reactants of photosynthesis. And that concludes photosynthesis. I hope through this video, you've been able to understand the processes of photosynthesis and cellular respiration, how they work with each other and not against us. Until next time, Bozeman lovers, have a fantastic day.